Okay. Hi, Julie. Okay, we're starting in child's pose. So take the knees wide, bring the hips to the heels, lengthen the arms away in front of you. Just bring any movement to the pose. We just want to sway the body side to side or roll the head around on the floor a little bit.
Pip?
Yes.
I get pinching in my left shoulder every time I do child's pose, and I can't find a way to release it.
Wider with your arms.
Okay, let's try that.
That's it. Just staying where you are in that child's pose. Nate, just give me a thumbs up if that does help. Cool. Okay. Good. So we're going to deepen into the breath. Try and keep the elbows slightly lifted, but the armpits coming towards the floor. So we start that wrapping of the shoulder blades. Gently bring yourself up into an all fours position. Spread the fingers open. Just start to rock forwards, backwards in the hands. Finding that slight protraction of your shoulder blades. So protraction meaning the opening of the shoulder blades. Again, working that wrapping feeling. So we switch on all the serratus anterior around the base of the shoulder blades to support upper back. For those of you with upper back stuff going on as well. I'm just taking that round in circles, shoulders going round, hips going round, make it as big or as small as you want to. Keep it going one direction a few times. And then changing in direction, rolling around the other way. Any clicks and clunks that are coming out of my knees this morning. That's it. And then coming back up to all fours, turn the hands around towards your knees as far as they want to go. Sometimes they don't want to go all the way around. Just leaning back towards the heels. So stretch out that fold line of the wrists. Allow the palms to pick up slightly so your fingers get a stretch out there as well. And then lean forwards into the wrists there. And again, open out the shoulder blades, find that protraction. Tuck the chin towards the chest. Take a couple of deep breaths. Soften it and turn the fingers out to the edges of the mat. Tuck the toes underneath, come into a plank position. Yeah, really pressing the floor away so shoulder blades are broad. Pull the belly button up to the spine. Bring the knees back to the floor. Turn the hands back to your regular stance. And then tuck the toes and come into your downward facing dog. Paddling through the feet, bring some movement into it, however feels good to get the body moving. Deepen your breath. Keep that feeling of the wrapping of your shoulder blades. Dip the elbows slightly and then you pull the elbows around towards your ears. So you wrap the shoulders around the ribs, like you're turning your armpits towards your ears. Holding here in downward dog. A slight bend in the knees if the hamstrings are still feeling a little bit tight. Think tailbone and lower back lengthening. Really spread the palms open. Keeping the whole of your hands rooted to the floor. So particularly that index finger pressing down to the ground, or index finger knuckle stays rooted. So we strengthen through the palms of the hands. Don't worry about the heels trying to come to the floor. Think about the spine lengthening up. There's no rule in yoga that says heels have to come to the floor. See if you can relax the neck. Take another 2 breaths. As you next inhale, roll forwards into a plank position. Again, stay open through shoulders. Bring the knees to the floor, the chest to the ground, half chaturanga. Gentle cobra as you inhale. Exhale, come back up to all fours and into child's pose again. Alter the arms however they feel best to fit. Bring yourself into a kneeling position, just clasping the hands together at the heart center, and then just roll the wrists out. So interlace the fingers and just give them a roll around. And then change direction if you can. I can never seem to change direction with that. So. And then bring the back of the, so palms together like a prayer position. Roll the back of the hands towards each other and round. So you kind of massage through your wrists. So back of the hands, roll it around. Don't worry about the movement too much. Just rolling the wrists. Change direction if you can. And then come back into all fours. Find your downward facing dog again. Bring the gaze towards your hands. Begin to walk the feet up to a forward fold at the top of the mat. Holding here, there can be as much bend in the knees as feels good. This is more about releasing your back and just getting the inversion. Think about the abdominals drawing in towards your spine. So you work with that Uddiyana Bandha, navel drawing in. Keep that soft bend in the knees, slowly start to roll up to standing, stacking one vertebra on top of the next until the head comes up last, and roll the shoulders down. Just roll the head from side to side. And then holding center, bring the hands to the heart center, bring the big toes to touch. Standing tall, maybe just close the eyes, focus into the breath. Start deepening into slightly more ujjayi sound through your breath. So you feel the breath travel through your throat. Sense the weight evenly placed through the feet. And like we sensed with the index fingers pressing into the ground, try to sense the big toes rooting into the floor. So you strengthen through the arches of your feet. On the exhale, just slightly engaging the Mula Bandha. Deeper pelvic floor lock. Uddiyana Bandha, bringing navel towards the spine. And that soft ujjayi breath still moving through the feeling of your throat. So there's a slight engagement of the Jalandhara Bandha. As we inhale, we're going to lift the hands towards the ceiling, starting to work through some sun A's. As you exhale, forward fold towards the feet. So start soft with this first phrase, so lift the chest up. As you exhale, step the right leg followed by the left leg to your plank position, holding there. Take a breath in. Half chaturanga, exhale. Inhale, lift the chest to cobra. Exhale, back into your downward facing dog. 2 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Lift the left leg up, take a breath in. Exhale, step it through to between the hands. Rock the weight backwards, bring the back foot to the top of the mat. Take a halfway lift as you inhale. Exhale, fold in towards the legs. On one inhale, come all the way to stand, hands lifting towards the ceiling, lift the gaze. Using the bandhas to control the core, press the hips forwards and lean the fingertips back slightly, gentle back bend. Exhale, refold through to the feet. Halfway lift, inhale. Step the left leg followed by the right leg to your plank position, holding there. Palms wide, think about that index finger pressing to the floor, take a breath in. Exhale, half chaturanga, knees and chest come to the ground. Sliding forwards and open to cobra, roll the shoulders down your back. Exhale, come back into your downward facing dog, holding there for 2 breaths, not worrying about lengthening the breaths too much, just keep the breath flowing as we're warming it up. So then lift the right leg as you inhale. Exhale, step through to between the hands, rock the weight backwards, bring the back foot to the top of the mat. Halfway lift as you inhale. Exhale, folding forehead to shins. Inhale as you rise, bring the hands all the way up, take the hips pressing forwards, but keep the contraction of Mula Bandha, that perineum lock. Exhale, refold. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, step or hop back to your chaturanga on this one. Exhale. Good. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, come back into downward dog. 2 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. 2. Exhale. Gaze the hands, bend the knees. Step or jump the feet up to the hands. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold into the legs. Inhale as you rise, hands up above the head. Exhale, refold through to the feet. Halfway lift draws the chest forwards. Exhale through to your chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, back into your downward dog. 5 breaths. Again, keeping them slightly pacier. 2. Exhale. Think pulling up the quads so the back of the legs lengthen. Keep the breath moving. Last breath. Bring the gaze to the hands, bend the knees, jumping the feet up to your hands. Halfway lift, inhale, good. Exhale, fold into the legs. Inhale as you rise, coming all the way up. Bring the hands to the heart center, holding there. So if you're jumping the feet up from the back to the front of the mat, you can take as many hops as you need to. You can step up, mix it up whatever you need to. So completely your practice. Coming into sun B, so take a deep bend into the knees, starting with your chair pose, Utkatasana. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift as you inhale. Exhale to your chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, back into downward facing dog. On one breath in, bring your right foot forwards, coming into warrior 1. So start the breath in until you get to the top. On an exhale, come back through to your chaturanga with the right foot floating if we can. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, downward dog. So you have 1 breath to bring the left foot forwards into warrior 1. Breathing in all the way to the top. Exhale, chaturanga, good. Inhale, lift the chest up. Exhale, downward dog. 3 breaths, 1. Exhale, bringing belly to spine. 2. Exhale. 3. Exhale, bring the gaze to the hands, bend the knees, step or jump the feet up. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold into the legs, make sure big toes are touching. Come back into chair pose, inhale. Exhale, come to standing, hands to heart center. I'm just going to show you that inhale coming from your downward dog. So usually it's much easier if we take the extra breath in to lift the leg and then exhale to step through and then inhale lifting. I want you to take out that lift up and swing through. Hold on, my phone's doing something funny. So it looks from your downward dog. Your inhale starts now. I'm breathing in, breathing in, breathing in, breathing in, breathing in, breathing in, breathing in. Breathing out, breathing out, breathing out, breathing out, breathing out, breathing out, breathing out. In, out. In, out. All the way down. So you have that 1 breath to get to warrior 1. So it's a full lengthening of your breath. We work that pranayama, the lengthening of your breath. So sun B again, exactly the same. So we're going to inhale, starting with chair. Exhale to fold. Halfway lift. Inhale. Keep breathing out until you've lowered your chaturanga. Inhale, then lift the chest. Exhale then to downward dog. So breathing in, right foot forwards into warrior one. Breathing in, breathing in, breathing in, breathing in. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, downward dog. Left foot comes forward, you're breathing in, breathing in, breathing in. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, downward dog. Pausing here, breathe. So your breath initiates each movement that you take as you roll through vinyasa. Last couple of breaths. Bring the gaze to your hands, bend the knees, jumping the feet up. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold into the legs, big toes are touching, take a deep bend in the knees, come to chair. Exhale, straight away refold. Take a deep bend in the knees, add in a little crow pose, or bring the knees to your arms and just holding there. So reach your sit bones towards the ceiling. See if you can take the weight into the hands and pick up the toes. If you're floating, think about straightening the arms a little bit longer so you come more into your crane. And then exhale, chaturanga, sit gentle. Go through the vinyasa. Good. Right leg comes forwards, come into warrior one. Good. Holding here, bring the hands to the heart center, come into warrior three. Reach the hands back towards the back foot. Think shoulder blades squeezing together. Lengthening the spine, so bring belly button up to the spine as though you're trying to take out the back bend. Bring the knee up towards your chest, reach the hands to the ceiling, take a breath in. Exhale back into warrior three. Once again, inhale, lifting up. Exhale to warrior three. Last time, inhale. Exhale. Bring the hands to the floor, lift the toes up so you come into standing split. Holding here. Take a soft bend in the supporting leg. You're going to jump your right leg to the back of the mat, so you chaturanga just on the right foot if we can. Lower down. Good. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale to downward dog. Left foot comes forwards into warrior one. Inhaling all the way to the top. Bring the hands to the heart center, lean forwards, reach back to warrior three. One sweep. Holding this first one, engaging the back, so draw the shoulder blades together. Think about those bandhas again, so bring in navel to spine. On your inhale, lift the arms, lift the knee. Exhale, reach it back. Inhale, knee to chest, reach the arms up. Exhale, reach it back. Once more, inhale to lift. Exhaling back. Bring the hands to the floor, lift the toes up, standing split. Good. Doesn't matter how high that back leg goes, but think about it being straight as you can. So soft bend into the supporting leg, plant the hands, jump your left foot to the back of the mat, chaturanga. Inhale, lift the chest, good. Back into your downward dog. Hold, breathe. One more breath where you are. Bring the gaze to the hands, bend the knees, jumping the feet up to the hands. Big toes are touching, halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold into the legs. Come back into your chair pose, holding there. Bring your left elbow towards the right thigh to twist. Press the palms together so your thumbs are at the heart center. And just check one knee hasn't slipped in front of the other. Yeah. Check your toes aren't gripping for dear life into the floor. And check you are breathing. On your next inhale, bring the hands back through the center. And as you exhale, right elbow to left thigh. Pressing the palms together. Check in with your knees, your toes, your breath. On your inhale, come back through to the center. Exhale, forward fold. Again, option to add a crow in if you want to, or holding the knees to rest into upper arms. On your exhale, jump it back, chaturanga, or step it back. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, downward dog. Right foot comes forwards again to warrior one. Lift the arms up. This time I'm going to add in warrior two to spin the hands open. Gaze over your left fingertips. Interlace the fingers together behind your back. Turn the shoulders slightly towards the front of the mat. And as you exhale, dive forwards and down to humble warrior. Forehead coming down towards that inner ankle. One more deep breath. Keep the body low. Place the hands down either side of the front foot. Lift this right leg all the way up to the ceiling, just three-leg dog, and think right toes stay reaching up to the ceiling as you take your chaturanga. So you'll come through a back bend as you drop down. Inhale, lift the chest. Good. Exhale, downward dog. Left foot steps forwards, coming into warrior one. Exhale, open around into warrior two. Gaze over your left fingertips. Strong through the arms. Interlace the fingers together behind your back. Turn the shoulders slightly towards the front foot. And as you exhale, dive the chest down towards the inner ankle. Deep, strong breath. Stay low with the body. Bring the hands down either side of the front foot. Left foot lifts up to the ceiling. It's a three-leg dog. Keep it reaching high as you can as you take your chaturanga. Lift the chest, inhale, really nice. Exhale, back into downward dog. 3 breaths. So you're using your downward dogs now to steady the breath, to allow the breath to slow down a little bit, so you get it back into, rooted into the diaphragm. Bring the gaze to your hands, bend the knees, jump the feet up to the hands. Halfway lift as you inhale. Exhale, fold into the legs. Come back into your chair pose, inhale. Interlace the fingers together at the top and press the palms up to the ceiling to transition to sun C. So send your sit bones back behind you, hinge forwards, so spine is parallel to the floor. Look through to the big toes. On your exhale, deepen the hips down any further. So now you'll come through that parallel line, the hips sink lower than the chest. Good, hold it. Lift up onto your tiptoes, so strong feet, push onto the toes, then hands come down and find your crow pose again. Either holding crow, if you want to, and you know tripod headstand is confident for you, and see if you can bring the head to the floor and lift the legs up. If you're new to tripod, please don't try this while you're on your own. Wait for a teacher to come with you. If you have tripod, see if you can come back into crow and jump back, chaturanga. Good, work through the vinyasa. We'll meet back in downward dog. Good, Jim, nice. Lift your right leg up, take a big breath in. Bend the knee and open the hip bones towards the side. Try and keep the shoulders square. Keep this top leg where it is. Roll forwards as though you're coming towards a plank position. You're going to come into side plank with left hand down, right foot resting to inner thigh of the underneath leg. Reach the right hand up if you can. Grab the big toe with your right hand and reach the leg up to the ceiling. Yes, good. It's a wobbly one. Lift the hips up. You place your right foot, so if you have the toe, you're coming into warrior one from here. So bring that foot down to the mat, placing it down, lovely. Lift the hands up, warrior one. Exhale to warrior two. Wrap the left hand around your lower back so you can find the right thigh. And then right palm flips up and reaches back behind you to reverse warrior. Really lengthening through that right line of the body. On your next inhale, come back through warrior two, straighten the front leg. You can bring the back foot in a little bit closer if it feels more comfortable to. Reaching forward and hinging to Trikonasana. Lifting the gaze to your top thumb. Think flattening yourself out here. And think tucking the tailbone in, really holding the bandhas. Float the left hand down, come into your pyramid pose. Just square up the back foot, heel to the ground. You might need to bring the back foot in a little bit closer and walk the hands forwards as far as you can in front of you. So eventually you want your body to almost look like you're in a downward dog, but with one leg coming through the line of the torso. Nice. Keep the tailbone trying to lift up to the ceiling. Option to stay here where you are. You're going to gain good flexibility. This is a real alignment, a good one for flexibility. So stay where you are if you want to. Otherwise, come in standing split again. Your left leg reaching high. Those of you that want to practice handstand, you can hop maybe that right foot up to lift left leg high. Come into the wall if you want to, and float. Good, taking 3 more breaths wherever you are. So you're taking a quick handstand. Good, good. Good, float it back down again. Take the left foot back to the floor if it is lifted. Bring your left hand around to the outer side of the left foot to revolve Trikonasana, Pashva Trikonasana. Right hand either to lower back, lift the hand up at the top if you can. So the left hand onto a block is going to feel a little bit more comfortable. Your left hand is to the outer side of your right foot. The more you can press down through the underneath hand, left hand to the outer side of the right foot, Jin, that's it. Hip square. Jin, revolve Trikonasana. Left hand to outer side of right foot. That's so good. The more you can push down through the underneath hand, the more the shoulders are going to be able to spiral. Take 1 more breath. Slowly come back through your pyramid pose. Hands either side of front foot. Soft bend into the front knee. Step the back leg away a little bit further so you're coming through warrior two legs. Keep the right hand down to the floor on the outside of the front foot. So you have knee in the armpits. Left hand reaching overhead, bicep to ear. This real classical extended side angle. Send your pelvis down towards the front heel. Yeah, a right hand on a block or on thigh, completely on option there. Either holding, again, you get good opening through the hips, loads of benefits from holding. If you want to build it in, take the left hand to wrap around your lower back, half bind. Maybe full bind, your right arm's going to come to the inside of that front leg and wrap it around. So your right hand grabs onto the left wrist. Without pulling or tugging, just use that bind to help lift the top shoulder further open. Be careful with shoulders. If we can, straighten up the front legs. So you come into that bound Trikonasana. Bend back into the front leg again. Take a breath in. Exhale, straighten the leg. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Bend back into it again. Release the bind if you have it. One hand either side of the front foot. Place the back knee to the floor. Lift the hands up to the ceiling, holding there. Find the hip flexor stretch for your left hip flexor. So tuck the tailbone, sink the hips forwards, and imagine you're trying to drag that back thigh forwards to the top of the mat. Activating the left buttock slightly. On your exhale, bring your left elbow towards the right thigh. Bring into twist. Going easy with twist and just take the hand to the floor on the inside of the leg. That feels better for your back, easy. Options, tuck the toes and lift the back knee. You can find a bind into that if it's available. So you open the hands out, so maybe wrap them around the most awkward way it feels to go, around that front thigh. See if again you can take an inhale here if you have that bind, and exhale, straighten up the front leg. The crown of the head tips towards the floor. It will feel wobbly. Inhale to bend. Exhale, straighten. Good. Last time bending, holding there. Unravel your bind. Step this right leg back up to the ceiling again. So 3-leg dog, right leg high. Keep the leg reaching up, lower down onto the forearms. So you're in dolphin with one leg up. Either holding here, if you practice into pincher, you can take a little hop. If you find a float. Play around with it. Excellent. Slowly come back down. Find your downward facing dog. Press through the palms, lift the elbows. We have about 5 breaths. If you'd rather be in child's pose for 5 breaths, take what you need. Three more breaths. 2 more breaths. Last breath. Lift your left leg up towards the ceiling, coming to 3-leg dog, left leg high. Holding there, bend the top knee, so you're opening the hips, try and keep the shoulders square. Breathing into it, feel that opening around the pelvis. From here, bring the gaze towards the hand slightly, come forward through to your side plank. So the right hand becomes slightly more central. Your left toes are resting into the right inner thigh, left hand reaching up. We can use the peace fingers to grab hold of that big toe and lift the leg up high. Keep the hips reaching up. Hips reaching up. So if you have the toe or you don't have the toe, you're coming into warrior one from here. So see if you can place the foot down into your warrior one position. Good, turn the back foot so you're anchored and bring the hands up to the ceiling. Take a big breath in. Exhale, open round to your warrior two. Good. Wrap the right hand around your lower back. See if the fingertips can rest into that left thigh. Left palm flips up and over into reversing the warrior. Good. So see if your fingertips can press into that front thigh so that it pushes your body further back to the back of the mat. Feel that real opening around the left ribs, left intercostals as you breathe. Gently bring it back through to your warrior two, straightening the front leg, hinging forwards and down, so Trikonasana, stay in that flat line if you can. If you prefer to practice that with the back foot just nudged in a bit closer, and bring it in a bit closer. Really draw belly to spine, so that underneath hand is lightly resting onto that underneath leg. It's about your core. Take a breath in, lift the gaze. As you exhale, bring the hand either side of your front foot into pyramid. So rotate the back foot round, hop it in a little bit closer so the heel is rooted, and reach the hands forwards in front of you, bringing the forehead into that shin. So again, imagine your body is in your downward dog, but your left leg has just hopped through. Either staying here or we come into the standing splits, lifting the right leg up. If you want to, have about 5 breaths here into your handstand, if you want to practice into handstand. Into wall if you'd rather. Float it back down. Take your right foot back to the floor so you come back into that pyramid pose. And then we are in revolved trikonasana. So your right hand comes to the outer side of that left foot, maybe onto a brick if it's more comfortable. Left hand to the lower back. Press down through those right fingertips to spiral the shoulders round. Make sure your back heel feels pretty rooted into the floor as well. It's going to help you stay balanced. Quads are engaged. Good. The little trick is to go wider with your feet so they're not in one parallel line, not in one linear line, I mean. Looking up, if we can, take a big breath in. As you exhale, bring the hands back down to the floor, either side of the front foot. Coming back into your warrior 2 legs, left hand stays to the outer side of the front foot, right arm reaching overhead, extended side angle with knee into the armpit. You can stay on a block under that left hand or bring the left forearm to thigh. That gives you a little bit more space. Option to stay where you are. Option to build into the bind. So right hand is going to wrap around lower back. Left hand can hop to the inside of the leg and then go under. So your left hand tries to grab hold of the right wrist, using a strap if that feels more available. Good. Take a breath in where you are. As you exhale, see if you can straighten that front leg. Inhale, bend back into it. Exhale, straighten the front leg and crown of the head hinging to the floor. Good. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Bending back into it again. Release the bind. Place the hands either side of the front foot. Lower the back knee to the floor and lift the hands up. Have the hip flexors stretch. So pressing the front of your hip forwards towards front heel. Imagine you're trying to drag this back thigh forwards and up towards your chest. Activating the right buttock slightly. Soften the shoulders. Take a deep breath. On your exhale, we build into the twist. So your right elbow is going to come to the left thigh. Press the palms together. Thumbs come towards heart center. You can hold at any level of this that we come into. Maybe you tuck the toes and lift the back knee. Maybe you add in the bind so your arms open. Maybe wrapping around that front thigh. So your right arm stays on the outer side of it. Adding in the breath if you can, or just breathing with the rhythm. Take an inhale where you are. And as you exhale, so if you can straighten that front leg. Just 2 here. So inhale to bend. Exhale, so if you can straighten. Inhale, bending back in. Release the bind. Bring the hands to the floor. Lift the left leg up to the ceiling. 3-leg dog. Keep the leg lifting. Drop onto your forearms. You go further forwards with your hands, Julie. That's it. Good. Staying where you are, or you can add a few hops in, or see if you can build into a pincher. Good. Last couple of breaths. And slowly bring it back down again. 5 breaths either in your downward facing dog or a child's pose. 2, 3, 4, 5. Walk your hands towards your feet. So you come into forward fold towards the back of your mat. Feet stay hips distance. Take the peace fingers around the inside and underneath of your big toes. And then using that bind to pull yourself in. So think about, as I said at the start of the practice, your big toes pushing down into the floor so the arches of your feet stay really active. Think about the shoulder blades, your scapula lifting up towards the pelvis away from your ears, so the back of the neck can lengthen. You can keep as much bend in the knees here as you need to, so body to thighs is a great way to practice your forward folds. And then over time, you lengthen the hamstrings. Deepening the breath, so using that Uddiyana strength of the abdominals coming inwards towards the spine, so you support that internal structure of the spinal column. Release any tensing of the abdomen. Release the toes, take a halfway lift as you inhale. Exhale, soften into the legs. Just take a little step forward so you're in the middle of the mat. And then gently take your time. You've been upside down a while. Come to standing. Roll the shoulders down your back. Bring your right knee in towards your chest. Left hand just resting to the hip. Peace fingers, grab hold of the right big toe. So you can get that bind again. So you're pushing the toe into your fingers so that creates a lock. The sole of your foot feels strong. You can stay here with the knee bent if you wish to. Just keep the knee facing up to the ceiling and not winging out. If you can, lengthen the heel forward. So pushing the toe into fingers to keep that leg strong. Focus more into the supporting leg straightening. And again, use it as an over time kind of practice to get the top leg to straighten. Take that right leg out to the side. Again, can still be with bent knee if that feels a little bit more stable. Good. If you can, if you're feeling steady, turn your drishti, your gaze point away from the foot. Your gaze goes to the left. Make sure you're breathing, holding on to something if you wish to. You bring the leg back center. You're going to place this right ankle onto your left thigh, like a figure of 4 feeling of it. Hands to the heart center, to reach the sit bones back behind you. Option to hold where you are. If you want to build into more of the arm balance, bring the hands to the ground. Your shin, the knee, is going to rest onto the right tricep. Your toes curl around the left tricep. So that's going to stop the foot from slipping. Keep the foot feeling really active. Hands to the floor, lean forwards like you're coming into your crow pose and pick up the left foot. If that's feeling steady, push shin into the arms to free that back leg to lift a little bit. Good. Any option of that holding is still going to build you into this over time, so go with it. Good. Take a moment to rest if you're taking the arm balance. I'm going to show you another little progression to play with if you want to. So she says, not having done this for a while. So you're going to take that flying pigeon. If your back leg is then flying, bring it around, so left knee towards the left shoulder, swap the foot. So you come into your crow and into Kumbhinyasana, dropping it down. Give it a go if you want to, or take a moment to rest in standing before the other side. Do you want me to do? Yeah.
What's the trick about getting the back leg off the ground? Because it is like, sticking out, because it is like cemented in.
Pushing your shin into your arms, you press down to lift the hips up. Don't know if you can see. Can you see me there? So as you come forwards, push shin into arms, you create the resistance there. So this upper body and shin create a real solid foundation. so that there's nothing. So once you can get that lift, that's the freeing point. It's a bit like when side crow and you start to split the legs, that feeling of once you're pushing down and you can free one leg, then you can move it around because you're solid. So we'll try the other side with it, see how it goes. So starting with the standing postures, left knee to your chest, bring the peace fingers to bind the big toe. Option to keep the knee bent and just focus on that standing posture. Using the banders, contract perineum will help you balance. Send the heel forwards if you can. Or just because you can doesn't mean you always should. Sometimes it's just nicer to come back to the foundations of the poses. Open the leg out to the side, turning the gaze away if we can. Breathe. Good. Bring the leg back center, bend the knee, place your ankle onto the right thigh. Reach the sit bones back, hands to heart center. So again, you can just use this to get the hips open so that over time we can build into the arm balances. They don't happen on day one of trying them. So we can then, if you want to, bring the hands to the floor, spread the fingers open, and also try turning the fingers out very slightly. You might have a little transfer of weight differently. Bring the shin, so your left knee towards the left tricep, and the toes actively hook on to your right arm. As you lift your hips up a little bit higher, even if you don't lift the feet today, lift the hips up. Good. If the back toes can float up, and then push that shin or your foot hooking into that arm to free up the back leg. And then to build into the transition, your right knee comes to the shoulder, you switch the feet. At the end of the day, the thing I love about yoga is it doesn't matter. Nothing really matters with it, it's just play. So slowly from there, how are we doing for time? Nearly saved by the bell. Bring yourself down to the floor, send the legs out in front of you. Hurrah! Okay, give the legs a bit of a shake, give your back a bit of a shake. Bring the feet to the floor, hands to the ground behind you. Give your wrists that little roll out again if you're feeling a little bit tweaky. Okay, so coming into a sort of tabletop position, this is a bit more gentle. If the wrists are feeling tired, turn the fingers to face the outer edges of your mat. So if shoulders are feeling tweaky, turn the fingers out. Press through the feet, lift the hips up. Either keeping chin towards the chest or let the head drop back if it feels comfortable to. Keep the hips lifting, glutes engaged, pushing through the arms. Keep the hips lifting, big toes rooted. Take a breath in. As you exhale, slowly bring the hips down. The head comes back in when it feels comfortable for you. Hips down. Good. So watch the screen. I'm going to take that again this time. Lift the hips up. As you come back through, send the hips through the hands. Your hips stay lifting and knee forwards. I'm going to come back into it again. And then hinging back. Keep the hips lifting, lean forwards. So again, you can do that with hands to the outside. You can do that with hands on blocks if you want to, or you can just sit and not bother with it at all. It's also completely fine. So we're going to get 3 goes with it, okay? So lifting hips up through to that tabletop, squeezing through the glutes. Exhale, sweep the hips through the arms, lean forwards, try and keep the bum floating. Inhale, knees forwards, hips up. Exhale, hinging through, lean forwards. Once more, lifting up. Exhale, hips through, lean it forwards, and then set the hips down to the floor. Bend the knees, take peace fingers to big toes, hooking them in. If the toes are feeling a little bit like you're pulling in them, then grab the edges of the feet instead if that feels a bit more comfortable now. Lean with the weight backwards, so you can take the heels off the floor. So keep the knees to the outer side of the arms now. That's it. If we can, lengthen the legs up a little bit higher. If you can, straighten the legs up. So that bind of the toes, if your feet are feeling strong, where they are, but let go of them. Now, arms reaching forwards. Bring the legs together, that's it, and then let go. Reach the fingers forwards. So cross one ankle over the other, bend the knees. Place the hands to the floor, lift your hips up. Place the hips down. Back in Navasana. Legs straight or bent is completely fine. Fingertips to the floor also is fine. Cross one ankle over the other. Hands to the floor, push up. Hips lift, hips down. Back in Navasana, one more. Doing good. Cross the ankle, hands down, lift the hips. Hips down. Good. Roll over the feet. Come into your plank position. Chaturanga all the way onto your belly. Hands under the forehead, rest to the ground. Okay, so a couple of back bends. I'd much prefer doing back bends with your hips to the floor for a bit more support. So again, build this up at your own feeling of consent. Bring the hands to the sides of the body. Roll the shoulders back, so like you're coming through your cobra, but reach the fingers away. Pressing the fingertips down to the floor, arms down the sides of the body, coming into more of your locust pose. Keep the feet rooted down. If that's feeling okay, press through the fingertips and lift the feet up. And keep the inner thighs drawing towards each other. Stay soft and long through the back of the neck. Take a breath in. Exhale, soften to the floor, just turn the head to one side, let everything relax. Either you repeat that again. Again, repeating things is still building strength through the body. It's still going to be greatly beneficial. Come back through. The next phase to build in, you interlace the fingers together behind your back. Reach the knuckles back, lift the toes. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Looking forward slightly, but without compressing the back of the neck. Take a breath in. Exhale, relax to the floor, turn the head the other way. From here, either repeating either of those again, or we bend the knees, flex the feet. Reach the hands back, hands are active. We are not grabbing hold of the ankles, not grabbing hold of them, so an active stretch. Keep reaching the fingers back, so you can touch the ankles, but don't grab them. So it's not a passive stretch, we build strength into it instead. Flex the feet. Doesn't matter if you're kind of on the floor and you're just still working, that's good. Keep hamstrings engaging too, so pull the ankles in towards your body. Keep reaching back, squeeze the shoulder blades. Take a breath in. Exhale, relax to the floor. If your back has had enough, you can rest. But one more phase, and it's now the passive bow pose. So as you come back up, bend the knees. This time reach back for the ankles so that you use the feet to draw the shoulders back. Grab the ankles if you can rather than the shoelace bit of the feet, so you have more hold and the feet stay flexed. Allow the feet to draw the shoulders open. Good, taking 2 more breaths. Slowly release it to the floor. Bring the hands underneath the forehead. Take a couple of breaths where you're really actively pulling the belly button up to the spine. So you're just switching on the core again. So you feel like you're doing a little abdominal squeeze. Bring the hands to the floor under the shoulders. Press up to all fours. Give your back a little wriggle out if you want to, side to side, or a couple of cat-cow. Tuck the toes underneath you, lift up to a downward dog. You can keep it softly moving. Bring the gaze to your hands. See if you can hop the feet through the hands or step them through, however feels good to get there. Bring the legs out in front of you. Come onto your back with the knees into your chest. So, hugging the knees in, taking about 5 breaths there. Bring the feet to the floor, just let the arms open out to the sides. Come into a twist either side, dropping the knees down, or just bring one knee over any spiral. On an exhale, bring the knees across to the other side in your same variation of your spiral. On an exhale, bring the knees through to the center. Lengthen the legs away. Find your Shavasana. Roll the wrists a little bit. Anything else that you need to do to feel comfortable. Just taking a few deep breaths. An hour practice for Rocket is never enough time to get through everything we want to get through. Never enough time to add on a Shavasana. So if you have the time to stay, then please feel free to just enjoy the stillness of your Shavasana a little while longer. Just consciously slow down the breath. Notice the heart rate slow down. Soften away any ujjayi sound from your breath. Soften the eyes in the sockets. So where the eyes attach to the base of your skull, notice that as you relax the eyes, the back of the neck perhaps relaxes a little bit further too. If you're ready to come out of your Shavasana, then just roll the ankles and the wrists once again. Bring the feet to the floor. Rolling yourself over to one side, and when you're ready to press yourself to seated, keeping the eyes closed for a moment if you can. So allow the hands either to rest to the knees or to the heart center, just holding that moment of stillness. Just keep that feeling running through the body of playfulness. So just release any ego of things that some days we can do, some days we can't do, some days we know we've got a journey. We all have journeys to go through. But just having the gratitude for your body being able to play and being able to move and explore your practice. So just having that gratitude just to hold into the heart center. I'm just going to leave you with that for today. So take a full breath in. And as you exhale, bow your head to your hands and to your fabulous body with your fabulous practice where it is today. Thank you so much. Namaste. Well done, guys. Thank you. Give your shoulders a little roll out.
Thank you.
Happy Friday. Is your